Not
Yeah,
anymore
right.
though. I don't know if I could go back to watching SpongeBob. It's like
Huh.
Lord of the Rings. I ruined it for myself.
How'd you ruin Lord
What,
of
the
the Rings?
movie?
From watching it like 50 times over when I
Oh.
was younger.
I recently watched the first one, the extended version. I was like, holy shit, that was really good because I
I
haven't seen
do
it
want
in
to.
a long
I would be
time.
willing to stick to the extended versions because I think I only saw those ones like maybe once or twice each.
That was the
Maybe
first time I
not.
actually watched because for me when the first one came out, the like Fellowship of the Ring, I watched it just like a couple, maybe once or twice. That was it. And so now that I can watch it again and be like, with the extended version too, I was like, it's been a long time since I saw that, so it was really good to watch that again. And
Remember the Mouth of Sauron in the third movie?
when I was a kid too, just sorry for a sec, I remember being like, the Fellowship of the Ring is boring, but
It's
then
actually probably one of the best.
it is really interesting.
That or the last one's the best one. Fellowship might be the best.
Think so? Why would you say
It
that?
might be. The second one I think is just definitely not the best. It's just way slower than the others, I think,
Okay.
and it just doesn't have as many like chilling, hair-raising moments. Whereas the
I
third
mean,
one
Helm's
has
Deep
the
was
most
pretty good, wasn't it?
epic. What's that?
Helm's Deep.
That's the only really like hair-raising moment though. Like
Yeah.
that battle was amazing when Gandalf shows up. Like that's amazing. But like that's it. The third movie had like Pelennor Fields, the final battle at the gate. At like I'm sure there was another moment. I can't remember it very well though. I just remember there being like my favorite moment in the entire trilogy, at least back in the day, and I guess it's still true, was when the Rohirrim showed up at Pelennor Fields. Theoden's giving his speech, and then it has the theme of Edoras with the violins as they charge into the orcs, and that was just awesome.
Oh, that was really good. I like that theme. And then the guy jumps off the thing.
It's so good. Yeah, that was my favorite moment, like probably moment in the entire trilogy.
Yeah,
and
that
then
was really good.
Fellowship has the most adventure and its wonder to it.
Yeah,
That's what I
okay,
think they
I
do
see.
the best.
Interesting.
And it makes good use of all the characters and the way they interact with each other.
Yeah, and the way he dies.
Shit. Nerds, how could you? Or is it Balrog? Depends on who you're talking about.
Oh no, I was talking about that random guy who got run over by the gate.
Wait,
What?
what movie? Oh, the guy had the guy.
The guy.
What? Yeah, what does he say? What does he say? What business brings you to Bree? We wish to stay at the inn. Our business is our own. All right, young masters. I meant no offense. It's my job to ask questions after nightfall. Talk of strange folk about.
Then he opens it.
And then the next time the Nazgul like knock or something, I don't know why he hears something, so he looks and he's like, "What is that?" And then they just trample over the door and kill him. I guess
It's great because they're just like, hey, wait. They're like, why don't we just run in there? Let's go. The hobbits are in there, and he's like, no, just fucking just like.
And remember when they walk into the bar, like they all walk in a line with their sword in the same formation, and
Yeah.
then the barkeep is like hiding behind the post.
That
You're
was
like,
so.
"Please don't
That
see
was
me."
so scary. Oh my god.
That was good because like at that moment I was like, what are these things? When I was
Yeah.
watching this.
That you're right. Those because in that movie, those things were like the big badass fucking what the fuck.
I
like
always
enemies.
thought the ring rates were horribly underused because they're like my in the games. I'm like the coolest thing is like you're playing like as Mordor, getting ring wraiths and like using them. Like ring wraiths were always just cool because they were like the first. Yeah, this is like an evil guy. Like the Death Eaters from Harry Potter. To me, they're like. Remember how cool the ring wraiths were? Well, let's try and do something like that. I feel like the ring wraiths kind of inspired things like that.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Hey, don't get mad.
Yeah. And the one thing I didn't like in the third movie was I thought it was a little chintzy that the Witch King was killed by Eowyn just because she was a woman.
Well, but it wasn't that though. It was because
I
Pippin
know it was
had
also
the
Mary
dagger,
slapped him with
or was
the
it? Yeah,
sword,
not
too.
Mary. Pippin. Fuck, Mary had the thing. You know what? That kind of thing though. Whenever they pull like a super, oh my god, it was just because he had that one thing that could kill him. I'm like, it's not impressive because it's fiction. So of course you'll make that happen.
Well, that too, but I also felt like it was implied that it really didn't matter that she was a woman.
Well, they didn't. The problem was they didn't mention that in the movie at all. They didn't mention Mary's dagger at all being the thing.
Yes.
Right.
They should have. You can't introduce something that's gonna like change the plot without like suddenly at the moment it changes the plot.
Yeah. I feel like
that's just a matter of them cutting out the wrong scenes.
I think what they could have done really cool is like mention that when he finds it and gives it to him in like the first movie, being like, "Yo, this thing I think is like that thing that can kill the dude." And then for people who could remember it all the way to the third movie, they could be like, "Oh my God, use the thing," you know.
When you can explain away something that's kind of confusing with something that makes sense to you, it's sort of like, oh, and then you don't consider it a plot hole.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. You like that, you know?
Edge of Tomorrow gets away with that. You know, the whole restarting everything when they kill the final thing. I'm like, I guess I can kind of think of a reason to why.
The weird thing, though, I don't like that because it's like, oh, they restarted it, but it was like they restarted it and it never happened. But then it's just a weird paradox at this point. So it's like, hey, remember that thing we did? Yeah, I do, but it didn't happen.
No,
it's like,
no, she doesn't remember it though. She doesn't. He has to meet her again.
But then if she didn't ever become a time traveler ever, then
no, because it reset. No, it reset. That's the thing I was trying. It reset to the time. Okay, you're probably wondering, well, why did it reset to the time between two battles? Because that's what happened.
Yeah.
It reset to before the battle where he is in the field and after the battle of Verdun or whatever it was
where
called.
she was already the badass then, I guess.
Yeah, and I believe the reason is because every time someone died when they had the time travel power, what did it do? It set them back 24 hours. So he died on the battlefield, right? And then he gets set back to when he's waking up in the boot camp.
Oh, not the helicopter? I thought he got sent back to the helicopter after the final movie.
Listen. But before that, to go on earlier in the movie, right? He's on the helicopter. He gets out, talks to the general. He's like, okay, I'm sending you, trying to blackmail me because you don't want to go into the front lines, so I'm demoting you, and then he gets forced onto the front lines. And when he goes to boot camp, they invade the next morning. So on their last life, they kill the big boss the nighttime before the raid starts. So he goes back 24 hours, which is earlier than when he wakes up at boot camp. It would be when he was on the helicopter. Because the thing is, you have to remember that it was always a 24-hour rule or whatever. Whenever he died, he would always die around the same moment. That's why he kept coming back at boot camp.
Oh, because then he would be coming back and also be sleeping when he came back, really. So then he just woke up at the same time again.
And so then when they killed the final boss, it was like the morning before the raid, which was the earliest they had ever done anything like that, and that's why he went back earlier than he had before.
So they killed the boss like earlier than they had died before.
Because normally they did the raid in the morning after that night.
Oh, right, because at the end, that's right, they didn't wait for the morning. They went straight to the Louvre, right?
Exactly. They grabbed their like buddies before the invasion started. So
that's
they
right.
Killed them, like, really
Okay. It makes sense. It's been a long time since I saw that movie, so
like, they don't tell you that at all. You have to just kind of figure out that's probably how it
Interesting.
works.
You know, I could actually see a movie studio making the mistake and like accidentally putting it back to the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Another mistake is that like these scenes, an editor, the writer and the screenwriter and all that could probably account for all of this, and then when they edit it and put it together, there might be just some we gotta cut that scene because that was pivotal, like Mary's dagger. Because they cut the scene with Mary's dagger, it made you believe that it actually was because she's a woman. Yeah. She could kill him. And that's what I didn't like at the time. Then I learned about the dagger, and I don't remember if it had nothing to do with her being a woman or not, but it's just the dagger scene would have made it better.
Yeah.
It's showing him the dagger.
Because didn't the daggers wasn't that all part of like that weapons cache that Gandalf found in the troll's lair or something?
I don't know because I think the movie that I did not see the extended scenes of was the first one.
Well, remember in The Hobbit, right? When Gandalf found all those like ancient weapons, like those elven weapons and shit in that cave in the dirt.
Those are old as hell. He gave those to the dwarves.
Yeah, no, he gave some of them. He gave them to the dwarves and Bilbo. I thought he found in there was the dagger that there too, or was that, or did he find Mary's dagger in?
The only one I recall them like pointing out was Sting, which he gave to Bilbo, and then he gave it to Frodo.
Right.
Aragorn gave the hobbits a bunch of weapons when they first met, and I don't think they were anything special. I believe he got that dagger way later from like Denethor or something like that.
Oh, okay. So not from like Moria or anything like that.
No, I'm pretty sure they didn't.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Lord of the Rings expert in the chat.
Yeah. Just look at chat. Just look at chat.
Skirmer, it
He's
was
like,
on the third age of year 3.
no, I was just say like, yeah, just Jay, go check chat. Jake's like, I checked chat.
No
It's, no one's here.
Yeah. Why did it tell me to check my bag? There's nothing in here.
Oh, you've been. I'm sorry. So you're a eunuch now, eh?
What? No, my backpack. I remember in fucking elementary school and high school, the kids would always joke about, "Oh, your bag, huh?" Like,
Yeah.
It's like, stop.
It's so funny.
I know me and the kid I sat in the bus with all the time, we would joke. He would always make that joke, and I'd be like, "Shut up!"
What, your bag?
shut
Oh
up.
yeah, something happening in your bag or
Well, one
whatever.
of the kids I used to always sit with.
Kids are so clever, aren't they?
Everyone's
He wasn't a jerk though. He was a friend of mine.
I am always a friend of mine.
Excuse me?
What? Sorry?
Nerd. Homer. Sounded more.
That was actually kind of like her
There you go.
sisters. That was good. Yeah. You know, they were in like the first episode of The Simpsons too.
Yeah, you know, it's funny how far back a lot of these characters go.
Yeah. Actually, I watched the first couple episodes of the series and I was like, it's just fucking everybody's already here.
You know what's also weird is the fact that some characters just disappeared because someone died or something, and you don't notice. when
Didn't
you
we talk
get-
about like the purple girls and the sickly boy kind of disappeared?
Well, they disappeared because God knows why. Because they just decided to make a different group of kids. But people like Troy McClure and Lionel Hutz disappeared because Phil Hartman died.
Oh, I
Got
see, I
shot
see.
by his wife.
Oh shit.
And I didn't
Oh, I
learn
didn't
that
even
for
knew
years
that.
here.
Oh.
That is really upsetting, Corey.
It is upsetting. Like, yeah, that's some of my favorite characters. Especially
Lionel
Hutz.
Hutz, he was so
Really?
good.
Yeah.
Why would she shoot him? Yeah. Tell us why she would shoot him, James.
I don't. Oh, James.
Yeah, Jay, tell us.
Don't,
Tell us, Jay. Come on,
don't
we're
pass
asking
the
you.
buck, you coward.
I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna buck run you in a moment.
Yeah, I guess that works. I had a really hard time figuring out what animal you were making a noise of for a moment there, because I haven't been around
You know
a
what? I
haven't been
actually,
around a
changed my
goat in a while.
I changed my mind like halfway through making that noise. At one point it was a horse, at one point it was something else, and I'm not sure.
Oh,
No, I was thinking horse. That's right.
I knew it was a horse.
Funny thing is there wasn't a lot of Pokemon to choose from in Gen 1.
Of course.
So Nidoking was always like a favorite of mine back in the day. But
I
now
liked-
that there's more Pokemon who never shows up in the top 10.
I liked Nidorino better than Nidoking.
Really? I like
Yeah.
Nidoking because he was just like a huge badass.
Uh-huh.
Him and Scyther, those are like my
Well,
unsung-
okay, but the huge badass wouldn't. I think for huge badass, I liked Genghis Khan more.
I didn't.
No.
Funny thing is, I just like Nidoking's design was more cool, but you know Nidoking's only like 4 feet tall or something like that.
Wait, really? What? What?
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Oh, I just lost all respect for
Goddamn
Nidoking.
Off your rocker.
Yeah.
You think I'm off my rocker?
Yeah.
He is
He's
Or the anime is pretty
Oh!
cool.
4'7".
Oh my God! What?
Yeah, man.
How does
You
that
gotta
make
look at
any
Pokedex
sense?
more. He's not that big. He's like the size of a small person.
I
It's
got.
his thing. It makes sense. The only reason it doesn't make sense is just because we thought it was different all
I
this
guess
time.
he's. I guess he's like a little rat, right? He's
But the
supposed-
anime,
Good
Wait,
thing.
what about the anime? Was he way bigger?
women being big in the anime.
Well, remember, Ash was a kid in the anime, so technically your sense of height was also skewed when you watched the anime.
Good thing you're all
Now, I think it
wrong.
was Jesse's
Best
Lickitung
Pokemon
was
is.
fighting Nero King.
Yeah?
Okay, do I have to put this on first?
versus Nidoking. And now I'm looking up the fucking show. Thanks a lot.
So
Yeah, good
mad.
luck here.
Oh shit! There's too many theoretical discussions about Lickitung versus Nidoking.
Really? Is there actually
no,
comparison
I-
between them at all?
There are, but I went to images instead and found pictures of Nidoking getting licked, but I can't see them together.
Jeez. Mm.
not sexually.
Don't disappoint James so much.
Oh, you know what?
Oh,
Instead, I will look at the Nidoking versus Lickitung comparison. Pokemon.Pikasaur. Never
Just make sure you.
been
No,
before.
I think you should check out the Paraheel.
No,
sources for that
Nidoking
instead.
and Lickitung comparison. What is this? Oh, I hope there. I was hoping there'd be a discussion. All right, I want to just look at numbers.
I want to put this thing on the engine.
Stop! You're just like my dad.
I can't. I know where it goes, but I can't put it on. What is wrong?
Oh, I gotta think about when I need to go to bed. Okay, so I gotta be there at 11 tomorrow. I need to leave at about 10 at the absolute latest. But I also
So-
want to get gas on the way over.
We won't see you at all tomorrow, most likely.
No, probably not.
That's too bad.
I'll try to be on the next day. I was thinking about seeing a movie on Sunday, but I feel bad when I don't show up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, be on the next day. Oh wait, I'll be a tank.
So it's just Patrick I'm screwing over, or is it Patrick and Corey, I guess?
It's just
For
Patrick.
what day?
Sunday.
I gotta go to work, so I don't really care.
Oh.
Shit. Hey,
Yeah.
no, we have
Yes!
lots to
If we go, Patrick, we're taking you with us.
Well, Patrick, I could get up. We could play in the morning, maybe Saturday night, Sunday morning for me.
do. Oh, I see. Saturday night would work, I guess. I can stay up a
Wait,
bit later.
Sunday morning is Sunday night for you.
Wait, your Sunday morning is my Sunday night. That wouldn't work. Well, that would kind of work.
So we could do that, or I could just see a late show and we could play for like 2 or 3 hours before that. But that's like right when you get on only.
Hmm.
Or I could see an early show if there's one at like 7, and then we could do shit at like 10 now.
Well, on Sunday I am tutoring at 2 or something like that, so I would have to leave earlier for you. So maybe if we were to come on in the I don't know. We'll figure it out, okay? Now, everyone, before we go, we should plug our channels and so everyone
We'll all have one channel.
plug your
It's
channel.
Your channel.
Plug your channels.
Like everything I've done has been on your channel, and everything the other guys have done has been on your channel.
Just plug your channels.
And you're on your channel.
Plug your channels. We can get out of here.
Okay, go to www.youtube.com/thebighashbrash.
It's pretty cool, actually. All right, James, Corey.
I do Isaac Let's
Corey,
Plays. And
YouTube,
I do commentaries over commentaries. I view these videos we're watching right now, and I commentate over the commentary. Just give my thoughts on it, and we go in behind the scenes editing, and then you'll get to see my asshole if you subscribe.
Yes.
You can visit me at YouTube /H3HD Productions.
Oh shit, are you allowed to do that?
NSFW videos at www.youtube.com/BigBrownIJ.
Is that right? Gross.
James?
I can't charge my phone and I'm so mad right now.
I overdubbed the song Brown Eyed Girl, but it's about me staring into assholes.
Sounds wonderful. You can find
James, plug your
me.
channel. James, plug your
I
channel.
think he's dead.
Oh. Way to go, James. No one's going to know who you were. No.
All right, you can find me here on pleatherbrown.youtube.net and only accessible using Netscape Explorer. You can get some extra content. I'll be here on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Wednesdays. Yeah.
But, Patrick, what if I only have AOL?
Well, you can use a chat plugin for AOL to kind of help with that, I guess, if you really need to. But
Patrick, I bought your store brand floppy disk, but it broke.
Well, that's not my problem. You might have to take that up with the Chinese manufacturer themselves. We signed a non-something agreement. I don't know how it really works, but you can talk to them and they'll figure it out for you. You might get
You're
it.
just not the same ever since you got big.
Oh, I've always
Take care.
been big.
Whoa! End it there. End it there. End it during my whoa.